The Bully, the Zith, and the Immovable Great-Grandfather. Part 3. You'll not make me lose folk. Ah! Falevik cried as his grandfather grabbed his arm and swung over him, twisting it behind him in a traditional arm lock. Falevik cried out as his grandfather twisted his arm higher. Do you have something to tell me, Felavik? His grandfather repeated this time. His anger was very clear in his voice. Falevik was unable to answer. The old man suddenly let go of his hand, kicking his student lightly in the back, causing him to fall into the ground in a weakened state. This is not a training session, Falevik. The story about Form and your great-grandfather was true, and this is a stance, but it is not one for someone of your level to train in. I was hoping you might have gotten it by now. His grandfather sighed. Get up and back into the stance. I'll be right back. Falevik stood, rubbing his cold muscles. The cold was biting now, and the shadows danced about as the sun neared its final destination. Forgetting about the form, as it was not his true lesson of the day, he began to think of his grandfather's actions since he had returned home. He had been unusually mean, and he seemed to know about what had happened earlier. So what was the lesson? When Soren returned, he held in his hand a long black cloak. He stopped before him, and a puzzled look came over his face as he noted his grandson deep in thought. Have you worked it out yet, Felavik? Falevik brought his hands together and bowed before his master. I believe so, grandfather. You know about the mischief that I got up to earlier in the day, and also that I avoided coming home for fear of punishment. You are teaching me the value of accepting consequences. I must take my punishment head-on like a rock. Falevik seemed more and more reassured as he went along, before finally finishing, looking up at his grandfather hopefully. Soren chuckled. That is admirable, young Falevik. But you have completely missed the point of the lesson. Get into your stance. Falevik's face dropped. He had completely missed the point. Completely? He had been so sure. Sluggishly, he attempted to get into stance. Quicker, tighter, wrists up. His grandfather descended into two-count again as he made his pupil do it right. When he was in stance, Soren draped the fine cloak over the boy's body. He took a step back and sighed. Stay as you are. You may come in when you finally figure it out. Be warned, the first time you give me a wrong answer, I'll take away the cloak. The second time, I'll give you some more examples. His grandfather left the boy then. For several hours, Falevik struggled with the answer amidst muscle pain and a growling belly. He didn't know if he were missing something, or if the answers he thought were too basic to be correct. He was also too scared to offer any answers he wasn't sure on for fear of the cold, which is now full-on whistling, whipping wind of alienating alliteration. It was by the 40th chime of the 23rd bell that Falevik limped into the house. He had been standing out there himself for some hours now. Despite the late time of night, Soren was still awake, sitting in a chair by the fire, a chair that was suspiciously pointed toward the door. Falevik didn't note the look of relief on his grandfather's face when he entered, only the stern expression it was replaced by. Do you have something to tell me, Felavik? Soren asked, hopefully for the last time. Yes, grandfather, Falevik replied gently. You were... Spit it out, boy, Soren demanded loudly. You were bullying me, Falevik shouted. You were showing me what it's like to trust someone who keeps hurting you. You pretended it was all for my own good, but that was only so you could hit me more, so I'd play along with words. We were doing that to Cherie. To Cherie. You were teaching me how it feels, so I know how she feels. Finished with his revelation, he slumped to the floor, his legs too tired to hold him up any longer. Within seconds, he was snoring. Soren's expression softened immediately. He got up and moved over to the child, lifting him up over his shoulder. He undressed the boy and put him to bed, planting a kiss on the child's head affectionately. Standing over the boy's bed, he couldn't help but sigh and whisper, "If I'd only told your father that." Fuck's sake, my back is absolutely killing me. Oh, oh wow. Ah. Not altogether sure why I decided to do this one. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually do it. In any case, my last flashback was about Falevik and his grandfather. It's to show that Falevik, no, it's to show that Soren is trying to make up for his mistakes with Vikor by teaching Falevik, by raising Falevik as he would have preferred, as he should have raised Vikor. Which it'll all wrap up nicely. Falevik and Vikor and Soren was part of Falevik's character eventually. Eventually, yeah. Oh, yeah. The thread link, if you would like to read that after hearing me read it and maybe try and understand some of it, because my reading was hilarious and or utterly bad, just totally blech. The link should be appearing above me. No, super super. I'm not mad at that's YouTube adaptations, if they even appear when I embed it in Mizahar. Well, it's been a thrilling ride. Indeed it has. 3 hours wearing a fire helmet is not good for your back, I can tell you that much. Love you, and I'll see you later. Oh, that thread is completed, by the way. And if any mods would just like to sneak in there and get a wee small little grade, wouldn't mind that. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And goodbye.